Hello there. Are we live? It's always so hard to tell. Yeah, we are. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Well, hi. My name's Mike. I'm a voice actor, and you've just come to work with me. So let's do some work. I'm still in a test phase here. I'm figuring out all the things. My chat's showing here. Uh, does any of this tell me how many people are in here? Because that'd be handy information. I don't know how to tell all that stuff. I go to my channel. I don't want it in a queue. I just want to watch it. Hit play on it. See what it looks like. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Let's get everything set up properly here. Okay. So I need to go in and see where I'm at, what I need to do next. I was doing all this. I need to hear back from a client. He was talking about making some changes to a script. And I haven't heard back from him yet. But we're going to look at the next thing to read on the list of things to read. And there's that one. That's a nice little short one. This is a crime channel that I do. It's actually gotten pretty big. So far, I'm starting to think that I shouldn't say the names of the challenge channels and stuff that I do for, I don't know, it just seems like a good idea. But let's see, I'm going to copy the title of this, come over to Reaper, start a new file, paste the name in, start my track, arm it to record, add my custom effects chain here, which is my EQ, which you can see I have set up specific to the room. This room is has acoustic panels and everything, so it's pretty good as far as sound goes. Got my D-esser, I've got a noise gate, and I got a compressor going. Let's see. Okay. This is a short one, so I think I'll just knock this out real quick. I don't remember how I saw before how many people were in here. I'm sure there's a way, but I don't know how. If you're in here and you know how to use this, I'm using OBS, and I'd like to know if there's an option to go in and show how many people are actually watching. Anyways. Okay. We're going to read this. All right. So this again is called Cops Get Outnumbered by Hostile Group at Waffle House. Here we go. We'll hit record. On March 19th, 2023, officers were dispatched to a Waffle House in Sanford, Florida, after reports of a fight breaking out between multiple individuals. But unknown to these officers, the chaos was about to turn around on them. The officers were called with hopes that their presence would bring sanity to the premises, but the people involved made sure to act like the officers were invisible, almost as if they weren't even there. To make matters worse, it was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have It was safe to say the officers were beginning. Oh, there we go. It was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. That wasn't great. I think I could do that better. This is one of the struggles of being a voiceover artist, man. You got to get the delivery right. And some people write in ways that aren't going to be natural for you to speak in, so you have to be able to deliver sometimes weird wordings in ways that you're not familiar with. It was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. That's good enough. And now I have a break in sections, and I like to mark those with a clap. That makes a big spike in the wave file. If you see over in the corner, you might have been able to see it. When I switch to edit mode, you'll definitely see it. But let's see. The officers managed to curtail the situation as best they could, but the crowd kept making ridiculous demands to justify their rowdiness. The officers had done everything possible to avoid the one action that was missing, until they simply couldn't anymore. A total of 3 individuals were eventually taken into custody, each charged with resisting. I think this is a typo, but each charged with resisting violence and disorderly affray. If you enjoy videos such as this, like, subscribe, and watch the next one. So now I'm going to take you through editing this one specifically. So if we switch to this view here. Okay, so you're going to see this is what I just recorded. And normally, if you see at the top, these are all the recordings that I've done today. So typically what I'll do is I get this whole pipeline moving. So I'll read 2 or 3 in a row. And then the first step after you read is I go through and I cut out all the spaces. So you see here, this is nice, clean waves, not a bunch of big gaps, not weird anomalies. And I know that if you've never looked at this stuff before, then I don't know if that makes sense to you when I say that. But this is what a brand new here we go. This is what a brand new recording looks like. So there's irregularities in between the speaking sections. There's little bumps in between there. You see all that stuff. That stuff's got to go. That's the stuff you don't want to hear. That's the stuff when I was reading, you were like, this guy isn't very good. Now, let's watch this. Anyways. Here we go. Oops. Actually. Asking AI a question real quick. I use AI a lot. Not for voiceover, actually. So anyways, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put my cans on so we hear the same thing. And then, so what I do is I go over and I take a little section of dead room space. So that little section right there is a little quiet section. Hey, King Arthur's back. What's up, buddy? Glad to see you again. I got back from picking up the boy and had a little time. Decided to change things up a little bit. I got some new graphics on the screen. Anyways, so we're going to go. And so normally what I do is, like, let's say this one, for example. The first one in my queue, you see at the top of my screen. It's the, well, I know there's these 2 over here, but those aren't my daily projects. This is what I've recorded for today, this stuff up here that you see. So normally what I would do is just hit play, and then I would go back to this recording and start cutting it up while listening to the other one. And that's what I'm going to do on my normal workflow on any given day. But on this one, I want to kind of show you the nitty-gritty of what's really going on here. So I'm going to Control-C, copy this section of just dead air. Now that gives me a piece to go mold this with. So first of all, I cut off this. Listen to this. Hear all that? On March 19th. Yeah, you don't need all that. So you go right up to where it starts. Put a split in the track. I'm using Reaper. Hotkey for that's S for me. And then I do Control-V a few times to put that dead air in there. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold or some allergies or something. I don't know. But you see, you don't want to, as soon as you hit play, to have your voice start. So you put a little bit of a buffer space in the beginning, and then you grab this section here that's going to go, and I have my delete key routed to my tab key. That way my hand doesn't have to move, so I just hit tab. And then here we go. Now, this is going to, might be a little weird at first. I'm going to just start listening and cut at the same time. And this is not how I typically do each one, but it is kind of fun. Let's go. On March 19th, 2023, officers were dispatched to a Waffle House and This is always kind of a fun game because I try to stay ahead of the play cursor. And if you're not careful, you'll get bogged down, but I just spilled some of my drink on myself. Who does that? Oh, let me go see what AI said to the question that I asked it. Where's it at? Here we go. Oh, that's a whole thing that I need to... Oh, I got that. On your computer, open your YouTube Studio Live control room. Pop out chat. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that's not important to what we're doing now. Let's get back to this. So, on March 19th, 2023, officers were dispatched to a Waffle House in Sanford, Florida. 2023, officers were dispatched to a Waffle House in Sanford, Florida, after reports of a fight breaking out between multiple individuals. But unknown to these officers, the chaos was about to turn around on them. The officers were called with hopes that their presence would bring sanity to the premises, but the people involved made sure to act like the officers were invisible, almost as if they weren't even there. To make matters worse... Hey, King Arthur, what's your question, buddy? Oh, here we go. The officers were called with hopes that their presence would bring sanity to the premises, but the people involved made sure to act like the officers were invisible, almost as if they weren't even there. To make matters worse, it was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have... It was safe to say the officers were quickly... Matters worse, it was safe to say the officers were beginning... Here we go. It was safe to say even there. To make matters worse, it was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. That wasn't great. I think I could do that better. This is one of the struggles of being a voiceover artist, man. You got to get the delivery right. And some people write in ways that aren't going to be natural for you to speak in, so you have to have their hands too full. Bunch of me talking to the thing. Do I have a Discord? I don't yet. I was never much of a Discord guy. I mean, I have Discord, and because some of my clients like to use it to communicate with, but I don't have a Discord server. Maybe you can explain to me what would be the benefit of me having my own Discord server. And while you work on that, I'm going to keep working on this here. To make matters worse, it was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. And some people write, officers were invisible, almost as if they were and some people write in ways that aren't going to be natural for you to speak in, so you have to be able to deliver sometimes weird wordings in ways that you're not familiar with. It was safe to say the officers were worse. It was safe to say the officers were invisible, almost as if they weren't even there. To make matters worse, it was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. That's good enough. But now I have a break in sections, and I like to mark those with a clap. Yep, so here is a prime example of the clap in action here. There we go. Anyways, oh, I keep getting distracted. Okay, so you see this big spike here in the waveform. That's my clap, see? That makes... So as soon as I see that, I don't even have to give it any thought at all. I can just go ahead, boop, boop, and Control V. Get a few of those dead airs in there, so it's just a nice little pause. Hands too full. That's good enough. But now I have a break in sections, and I like to mark those with a clap. That makes a worse. It was safe to say the officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. That makes a big spike in the wave file. If you see over in the corner, you might have been able to see their hands too full. But let's see. Full. The officers managed to curtail the situation as best they could, but the Oh, if I have a username. I do. Let me find it. I don't use it very often. Let me get back to you on that because I'm gonna have to get it off my phone, I think. And my phone is what I'm streaming on. Unless, let me look real quick. D for Discord. How do I do Discord? I mean, I guess I could just D-I-S. Yeah, that's me. Let me have a quick look-see here. Hello, whoever's new. My name's Mike. I'm a voiceover artist. I'm glad you're here. I was just getting my Discord for King Arthur in our chat here. There it is. Can I copy my username? I don't want to edit it. I just want to copy it. There we go. And then what do I do? Maybe come over here. And what's this about? Well, hello there. This is me streaming my voiceover career. And let's see, pop out the chat. Go back to here and here. Is this what I need? Will this work? All right, King Arthur, there is that. That is my Discord handle, I believe. So anyways, here we are. Let's get back to editing this here. The officers were quickly beginning to have their hands too full. The officers managed to curtail the situation as best they could, but the crowd kept making ridiculous demands to justify their rowdiness. The officers had done everything possible to But the crowd kept making ridiculous demands to justify their rowdiness. The officers had done everything possible to avoid the one action that was missing, until they simply couldn't anymore. A total of 3 individuals were eventually taken into custody, each charged with resisting, I think this is a typo, but each charged with resisting violence. 3 individuals were eventually taken into custody, each charged with resisting violence and disorderly affray. If you enjoy videos such as this, like, subscribe, and watch the next one. So now I'm going to take you through editing this one specifically. There we go. Affray. If you enjoy videos such as this, like, subscribe, and watch the next one. Okay, so that was beginning to end a small little voiceover. Okay, so we're going to render this one. I like to normalize to -12 dBs. What that does is bring the overall volume way up. And then I set my Brickwall limit to -1 dB, -1 decibel. That makes it so at the loudest point, it stays at -1 decibel, which means it can't ever clip. So it can't ever create that little speaker sound. And you can go higher on your normalization, like you could normalize at like -3, and it'll really bring the overall volume up, which, you know, is good in some situations. And then I do it as MP3s usually. So then it'll go ahead and render. It's a short one, so it'll go fast. And then most of my clients I communicate with via Upwork. So I'm just going to go in real quick. I'm going to go to this particular client. That stuff's not going to be on the screen because, well, that's not the stuff that you need to see. But I also put everything in my spreadsheets so that I can track my work. So we'll put that in there. That's good. Good. Linus, I would say, I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But I figure I'm going to work in here doing this every day. And before I was doing this full time, I would have thought a live stream of this was interesting. So that's what I'm doing. Let's see, get that attached. Submit that. Close that. And then, do we record another one? What's left on the list? Do we record? I'm only going to be in here for another probably 10 minutes. So I think we're just going to go ahead and go back and just start working on some more of these little dealios. Let's see. Get back to the right screen. There we go. All right, so let me get my cans back on. So let's see. We'll close this. We're done with this project. So now we'll go into, we're going to skip that one. This how to build muscle while losing fat, because Sam, this client, just notified me a little bit ago and explained to me that he might change something. So we don't want to get too much work into it that it's going to be a pain to have to change. So we'll just go to the next one. This is Nano Banana is Wild, which this is for the AI channel that I do. Nano Banana is a new image generation AI tool through Gemini, which Gemini is what I use, actually. It's what made my little watermark there on the screen with that sexy-looking skunk stripe beard-looking character. AI just quietly stole the photographer's job, and nobody saw it coming this fast. Google's Nano Banana running on Gemini. So now I'm going to get into my regular workflow, and what my regular workflow is listening to this whilst at the same time I edit my newest recording. So you're going to see me flip back and forth. I'm going to be listening to Nano Banana, and if I hear a mistake, I'm going to go in and fix that, but at the same time, I'm going to be cutting, what is it, when the real fight begins, whatever that is. Here we go. Coming this fast. Google's Nano Banana, running on Gemini 2.5 Flash, can produce flawless, hyper-realistic images in seconds, shaking industries shaking industries from. So there should have been a little bit more of a space in there. Hyper-realistic images in seconds, shaking industries from marketing to realistic images in seconds, shaking industries from marketing to content creation. 2 weeks ago, a photo went viral of a new hot sauce brand. People were raving about the perfect lighting, the vivid colors, and how it looked like something straight out of a Michelin-starred restaurant photo shoot. Here's the twist. That photo was never taken with a camera. It was created in 3 seconds on a phone using Google's brand new AI tool called Nano Banana, powered by the Gemini 2.5 Flash update. This isn't just another AI gimmick. This is the first time we've seen AI that can create images so real, so accurate, and so fast that even professionals are questioning whether you can add me if you want, King Arthur. Like I said, I don't know how often I'm going to be on there. I usually only hop on to talk to a couple of clients or find animators, actually. But sure, yeah, if you want to throw me on there. Just so real, so accurate, and so fast that even professionals are questioning what's real and what's not. And here's the scary part. This technology's already here, right now. And it's about to change how businesses, creators, and even regular people interact with technology forever. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand what Nano Banana can do, and you won't just understand what Nano Banana can do, and you'll see why this is one of the most important AI updates of the year. AI has been evolved. You won't just understand what Nano Banana can do, and that's a poor sentence. I remember reading that when I read that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that stuff. I'm sorry if any of my clients find this. That wasn't a very good sentence, though. Hey, cool, King Arthur. Right on, brother. understand what Nano Banana can do, and you'll see why this is one of the most important AI updates of the year. AI has been evolving at light speed. AI has been evolving at lightning speed over the last few years. We've seen image generation tools like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and even OpenAI's DALL-E blow people's minds. But they've all had one big weakness. They either mess up details like hands and text, take forever to process, or rely so heavily on cloud servers that they feel clunky to use. Then,
right on
out of nowhere, Google dropped Nano Banana. The internet exploded. People started sharing images of products so realistic that brands were questioning whether they were actual photographs or AI creations. And now, with the new Gemini 2.5 Flash update, this tool isn't just impressive, it's on a whole new level. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this technology works, what it's capable of, and why it's such a massive deal. Let's jump right in. At its core, Nano Banana is a lightweight AI model designed to run locally on your device. That means it doesn't need to constantly ping.
This looks crazy, and I want to know why. What is this?
The P and the P. You don't want to blow it out, but, and disappears the second.
I did that on the last live stream. That's funny. Excuse me. I apologize. Anyways. There we go. All right, and let's go back to it.
Get that last.
Oh, wait, where? Nano Banana.
Let's jump right in. At its core, Nano Banana is a lightweight AI model designed to run locally on your device. That means it doesn't need to constantly ping giant cloud servers for every tiny request. Think of it like the difference between streaming a movie versus having it downloaded directly on your phone. Streaming depends on a strong internet connection. One hiccup and it starts buffering. Downloaded content plays instantly and smoothly. Now, that's what Nano Banana does for AI. It lives on your device, runs at lightning speed, and keeps your private data safe because it doesn't have to constantly send everything to external servers. But don't let the word lightweight fool you. This thing is powerful. It can generate hyper-realistic product images, edit them in real time, and even adjust things like lighting and angles just by following your voice commands. It's like having a mini professional photo studio, a Photoshop expert, and a creative director all inside your phone. But speed and privacy are just the start. The real magic happens when Nano Banana inside your phone. But speed and privacy are just all inside your phone. But speed and privacy are just the start. The real magic happens when Nano Banana gets supercharged with Google. The real magic happens when Nano Banana speed and privacy are just the start. The real magic happens when Nano Banana gets supercharged with Google. Privacy are just the start. The real magic happens when Nano Banana gets supercharged with Google's Gemini 2.5 Flash update. And trust me, this update changed everything. If Nano Banana is the engine, Gemini 2.5 Flash is the rocket fuel. Before this update, Nano Banana was impressive but limited. It could create images, yes, but now it can understand context and adapt in real time in ways we've never seen before. Here's why this matters. Let's say you generate an image of a coffee bag on a countertop. You like it, but you want the lighting to feel more dramatic.
We lost the P there. Did you hear that? We lost the P.
Countertop. You like it.
Countertop. There's the P. Sometimes when I get cutting stuff, I cut things a little too close.
Egg on a countertop. You like it, but you want the lighting to feel more dramatic. Past, you'd have to start over or open an editing app with dramatic. Past, you'd have to.
There's something missing there. Yep, in the
past, you
with a little breath. We don't need the breath, but we need the in the past.
But but you want the lighting to feel more dramatic. In the past, you'd have to start over or open an editing app. With Gemini 2.5 Flash, you can just tell it what you want changed, make the lightning moodier, add some steam coming out of the cup, and place a croissant beside the bag. And seconds later, it updates the image perfectly. This is like having a conversation with the AI rather than giving it commands. And that makes creating visuals not only easier, but way more fun. Here's another example. Imagine you take a simple product shot of a bottle. You tell Nano Banana to place the bottle half submerged in an Nano Banana to place the bottle half submerged in a bottle of orange hot sauce with wings. To place the bottle half simple product shot of a bottle. You tell Nano Banana to place the bottle half submerged in a bottle of orange hot sauce with wings around it. Boom! It delivers. The reflections look natural. The sauce splashes realistically, and the label stays perfectly clear. And then you say, okay, now change the perspective. Show a hand.
So my full workflow on everything is I record it, and I can chop up audio. That's the fastest step that I do. So the workflow is I record it, and then as you see here, I was chopping all this up, not listening to it, just looking at it and chopping it up, and then yeah, I have to listen to every single one. It definitely takes longer. It's usually at least a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning for each script, I have to read it all the way through and then listen to it all the way through. Depending on how many mistakes that I made is going to dictate how long I have to spend in that listening phase. So with some of this stuff, you hear a whole bunch of mistakes, so I have to go through there and add space or take space away, delete sections that were mistakes. And that's just kind of part of how it goes. There's theoretically AI tools out there that can do it, but I personally haven't tested any that I felt were good enough to give the same quality finished product that I can do doing it manually, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I do have to listen to everything this much, and it does kind of take a long time. In any given day, I usually turn in roughly 10 voiceovers. So, yeah.
How much do you need? Aim for about 0.8 to 1 gram per pound to 1 gram per pound of body weight per day.
Wrong one.
And the label stays perfectly clear. And then you say, okay, now change
There's a little pop in there. Did you hear that?
Is perfectly clear. And then you
that I don't like that. Where is that?
And then you 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 and then you
where is it?
And then
I think it's that right there. Let's see.
Is perfectly clear. And then you
Nope, that wasn't it.
And then you clear. And
I think it's that little nugget right there.
Perfectly clear. And then you clear. And then you and the label stays perfectly clear. And then you say,
got it.
Okay, now change the perspective. Show a hand lifting the bottle out of the sauce. Seconds later, you have a completely new image, as if you had an entire team of photographers working on a set with you. That level of flexibility used to take hours working on a set with you. That level of flexibility used to take hours, if not days, in Photoshop. But the real question isn't just what it can, if not days, in Photoshop. But the real question isn't just what it can do. It's why this matters to you. Whether you're a creator, a business owner, or just someone curious about the future. This isn't just cool tech for tech's sake. It's a tool that can make life easy for someone curious about the future. This isn't just cool tech for tech's sake. It's a tool that can make life easier, more efficient, and more creative. If you're a content creator, Nano Banana can cool tech for tech's sake. It's a tool that can make life easier, more efficient, and more creative. If you're a content creator, Nano Banana can completely transform your workflow. Imagine being able to shoot basic and completely transform your workflow. Imagine being able to shoot basic product photo. If you're a content creator, Nano Banana can completely transform your workflow. Imagine being able to shoot basic product photos and then generate dozens of professional variations instantly. Imagine being able to shoot basic product photos and then generate dozens of professional workflow. Imagine being able to shoot basic product photos, transform your workflow. Imagine being able to shoot basic product photos and then generate dozens of professional variations instantly, perfect for social media, marketing, or client work. If you're a business owner, you can create ad-ready images without hiring a full production team. No more expensive shoots, no more waiting weeks for edits.
All right. So, and then this is where I leave it. So you'll see at the top, I've got this literal pipeline of work. And so when I come up tomorrow, I am going to take a look at my work list, which is the list of scripts that I need to read. And then I'm going to start recording. So basically, I'll start reading when I don't have anything left to cut. Doing it this way keeps me from getting too bored on any one step. So instead of sitting here and listening to like 5 in a row and just having to cut out the mistakes that I made, I'm going to listen until I don't have anything else to cut, because then my hands aren't doing anything, right? So I might as well be fully utilizing everything that I can do, which means I can listen, cut out mistakes, and chop up raw audio all at the same time, which really speeds up the whole process. So, but now I got to go. So thank you, everybody, for stopping out. Oh, there she is. There's a family reunion in here. But anyways, I'm all done for now. This will be a regular thing. It'll be mostly during the day. I start early, so I'll be up here. Yeah. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.